It is time to talk about loyalty. In order to achieve victory, it is important that players understand the gameplay mechanics of loyalty. To lead a successful war campaign, a warlord must always consider the morale and ideological implications that their decisions will impress upon the various ally units employed within their army. Throughout a war campaign, a warlord's decision can bolster or impair the morale and loyalty of their ally units. This concept is incorporated into the design of Loyalty Resource Token that is utilized by squad and elite units. Based on the various decisions that players can make during gameplay, squad and elite units can gain or lose their held loyalty, which reflects their faith or uncertainty in their warlord's leadership or ideology. A warlord that works towards fostering loyalty within their army will find these allies more reliable and capable amidst the chaos of battle. Warlords that ignore the loyalty of their units may unexpectedly find these allies recalled from the battle map, or worse, be persuaded to join the enemy's army. A squad or elite unit's held loyalty represents their bond towards their army and warlord. A unit with high loyalty is resilient to the various stressors that can occur in war. High loyalty units are even capable of performing additional abilities that can have powerful effects for the player's army. This makes the management of each unit's loyalty critical to achieving victory. When any new ally unit is deployed onto the battle map, they will start with 0 held loyalty. A unit without loyalty will continue to serve their warlord so long as they are periodically compensated via upkeep cost each round. Units without loyalty, however, impose a risk of automatically performing a recall should any effect cause them to lose loyalty when they have none. This is also referred to as negative loyalty. To avoid these risky situations, players should ensure that their ally units hold 1 or more loyalty tokens. Should an effect cause a loss of loyalty for a unit that holds 1 or more loyalty, that unit loses the loyalty, but they will not automatically recall themselves and will remain active in your army. By default, all squad and elite units are deployed onto the battle map with 0 starting loyalty. Note that some ability effects can cause newly deployed unit to start with some loyalty. For example, when upgrading, after paying the upgrade cost, if a squad unit holds any remaining loyalty, they can optionally transfer their remaining loyalty to the newly deployed elite unit. A unit that loses loyalty when it has none must start an automatic recall, potentially leaving their army. A unit that recalls itself due to this loss of loyalty follows the same procedure as if they performed the universal recall ability themselves. This is regardless of whether the unit has already taken its turn, because this is a forced and automatic effect. Recalling units must have their pieces disabled on the initiative table and battle map. I'll be covering the recall rules later on. One last thing to note is that the maximum amount of loyalty that any single unit can hold is 6. Any excess loyalty beyond this 6 amount that a unit would potentially gain is immediately lost. Also take note that warlords cannot gain, lose, or use loyalty. Any effects that manipulate loyalty cannot manipulate leadership as a substitute when targeting a warlord with these types of abilities or effects. Now let's discuss how units can gain or lose loyalty. Squad and elite units can earn loyalty in a variety of ways, both directly and indirectly manipulated by various player decisions and effects. When gaining loyalty tokens, place these resource tokens on top of the respective unit's reference card portrait. And remember that a disabled unit cannot lose loyalty, but they can still gain loyalty. During the end of round rules and events, the dragon will move 1 step along the events track on the bottom of the initiative table. Each time the dragon moves along the events track, one of 4 possible events will occur, which are War Speech, Persuade, Influence the Public, or Battle Cry. Each of these events can potentially cause a gain or loss of loyalty for one or more units. Units can gain loyalty if their controlling player is willing to spend gold. During the end of round rules and events, players can buy loyalty for each of their squad and elite units. The cost to purchase loyalty is double the unit's current upkeep cost. Only one loyalty can be purchased per unit during the buy loyalty event. Loyalty can be purchased regardless if the unit is enabled or disabled. With regards to alignment and check presence, squad and elite units with Chaos or Law as their listed alignment have important loyalty interactions while they are within their Warlord's presence. In essence, Chaos units gain loyalty whenever they witness their Warlord engage an enemy unit in combat. Law units gain loyalty by protecting their Warlord, i.e. when they attack an enemy unit while they are within their Warlord's presence. Players are reminded of these interactions via the check presence text that is listed immediately after any Warlord or Law unit's attack. So, Law units in their Warlord's presence will gain one loyalty after they attack an enemy unit. After a Warlord attacks an enemy unit, their ally Chaos units within presence will gain one loyalty. With regards to dueling, loyalty can also be affected. When a Warlord retreats from an honorable duel, their Chaos and Law units that are within presence will witness this retreat and lose respect for their Warlord. This loss of respect results in the loss of one loyalty for each unit. Neutral units, however, are more understanding and will not lose loyalty when their Warlord retreats from an honorable duel. Assault of a settlement is a major ideological decision that'll test the loyalty of your units. Whenever a player assaults a settlement with their unit or war camp, they place their war banner beside that settlement's ID row on the initiative table if they do not already have one war banner placed there. When a player places their war banner in this way, all of their Chaos units will gain one loyalty, while all of their Law units will lose one loyalty. The war banner's effect on loyalty apply to all Chaos and Law units of that player's control. Neutral units do not gain or lose loyalty whenever a war banner is placed. The iconography on the war banner game piece will serve as a reminder of this effect. Declaring protection of a settlement is another ideological decision that'll test the loyalty of your units. When a player successfully becomes a settlement's protector, they will place their protection marker beside that settlement's ID row on the initiative table. When a player places their protection marker in this way, all of their Chaos units will lose one loyalty, while all of their Law units will gain one loyalty. Protection markers' effects on loyalty apply to all Chaos and Law units that player controls. Neutral units do not gain or lose any loyalty whenever a protection marker is placed. Refer to the iconography on the protection marker to serve as a reminder of this effect. There are numerous unique unit abilities that can manipulate the loyalty of units. In addition, most squad and elite units will have unique abilities that will allow themselves or others to gain or lose loyalty. When these abilities are performed, or their listed conditions are satisfied, ally or enemy units can gain or lose loyalty based on the details of the unique abilities' effects. The targeting and conditional effects of these abilities must be successfully satisfied in order for the loyalty manipulation effects to be applied. Abilities that have a loyalty manipulation and other effects can still apply to a Warlord despite that Warlord being unaffected by the gaining or losing of loyalty. As an example, a Warlord can still benefit from the healing effects of Bleeding Horror's Blood Fuel ability despite themselves being unable to also benefit from the gaining of loyalty. Now let's discuss spending of all this loyalty. Building up a unit's loyalty is useful for preventing that unit from recalling itself from the battle map, but it can also be used for other advantageous effects. So long as a unit has loyalty, players have additional options to consider when handling their unit's turn. All units have access to the Universal Power Strike ability. Squad and elite units must pay 1 loyalty to perform a power strike. This ability grants a combat enhancement to any of that unit's existing attacks during its turn. I'll discuss Power Strike later on when covering the universal unit abilities. Squad units can pay loyalty to upgrade into an elite unit based on the elite unit's listed upgrade cost rather than paying their hefty deployment cost in gold. After performing the universal upgrade ability, any remaining loyalty that was held by the squad unit can be refunded or transferred to the newly deployed elite unit. I'll cover upgrading of squad units later on. During a duel between 2 warlords, loyal squad and elite units within their warlord's presence can press themselves into interrupting an active duel, sacrificing their life or pride in the process. To interrupt a duel, the squad or elite unit must pay 1 loyalty to assist their warlord with an attack or block, based on their primary ideology of chaos, neutral, or law. For more details on duel interruption and dueling in general, that'll be covered later on. When handling the recall turn of a squad or elite unit, their controlling player can opt to have that unit's recall cancelled by paying 1 loyalty from that unit. Doing so causes that unit's initiative ID piece to return to the unit section of the initiative table. Canceling a recall can only happen during the recall phase of a game round, when the CTI enters the unit recall section of the initiative table. I'll cover more details on how recalls are handled later on. During the end of round upkeep rule, a squad or elite unit must calculate their current upkeep cost and pay that amount in gold to prevent that unit from retreating. However, if the unit has loyalty, their controlling player may instead opt to pay 1 loyalty to skip that unit's upkeep payment. A warlord can also leverage and push their loyal units to gain leadership. During the end of round rules and events for exchange leadership, players can spend 3 loyalty split across any number of their ally squad or elite units and award 1 leadership to their warlord. This exchange can be repeated multiple times so long as the player's units have enough loyalty for each exchange. The final thing to cover with loyalty is regarding a loyalty refund. In the event that a squad or elite unit successfully recalls or retreats from the battle map, they will refund some amount of gold based on how much remaining loyalty they hold. The amount of gold refunded per loyalty held is equal to the unit's calculated current upkeep cost. This loyalty refund amount is then added to the normal refund amount provided from a recall. Any effects that increase, decrease, or multiply a unit's upkeep will also impact the amount of gold that their loyalty refunds. Note that a retreating unit does not refund half their deployment cost like a recall does. For example, if a recalling unit held 3 loyalty and their listed upkeep cost is 4 gold, then that unit would refund an additional 12 gold when they successfully recall. Another example of a loyalty refund is where a unit is retreating while occupying snowland terrain and they hold 3 loyalty. Now, snowland terrain doubles a unit's current upkeep cost, and this unit's upkeep cost is 4 gold. So the 4 gold would be doubled to 8 gold, and 8 times 3 loyalty would amount to a loyalty refund of 24 gold.